They said I had 30 minutes to decide, resign or be fired. 30 minutes after giving 20 years of my life to a company I had built from the ground up. I chose to resign, but on my terms. They didn't realize that the paper I handed them wasn't just a resignation, it was a ticking time bomb. My name is Isabella Harper, and I had spent 20 years of my life at Next Gen Solutions, a mid-sized software company in Seattle, Washington. I had started in 2005 as a junior analyst, fresh out of graduate school, working long nights in a cubicle barely big enough for my laptop and 3 notebooks. My salary was modest, my rent consumed half of it, and I was driven by one thing: learning, growing, and becoming indispensable. By 2025, I had done just that. I was the director of global operations, overseeing 45 employees across 3 continents, managing millions in revenue, and keeping the company's intricate systems running like clockwork. I knew every client, every vendor, every system update, every internal process. If something went wrong, I was the one who fixed it. If someone needed historical data from 2010, they called me. If the board needed clarification about a policy written in 2007, they came to me. I was the living memory of Next Gen Solutions. Lucky for me, I wasn't completely alone. Emily, my senior operations manager and closest ally, had been working with me for the past 12 years. Emily wasn't just brilliant at analytics, she was careful, meticulous, and loyal. Whenever I raised concerns about changes, she quietly verified facts, gathered her own notes, and kept our internal projects secure. She was the perfect partner for what was coming. The beginning of the end. February 2025. Titan Corp, a multinational conglomerate specializing in tech acquisitions, bought Next Gen Solutions. Their playbook was the same as it always had been: buy promising companies, cut costs by removing experienced employees, replace them with younger, cheaper talent who wouldn't question authority. I had watched this destroy 3 competing companies in the last 2 years. I knew exactly what was coming. The new CEO, Ethan Drake, was 36 years old, freshly minted from a prestigious MBA program, with no practical operational experience in enterprise software. The CFO, Miles Hawthorne, was 32, a wizard with spreadsheets but completely naive about real-world business operations. And the new COO, Rachel Voss, had managed one small startup before going corporate, but had no idea how to run a company that actually delivered complex software solutions. The first week of March, they called a company-wide meeting. Ethan Drake, with rehearsed enthusiasm, promised that nothing fundamental would change, that the staff was valued, and that they were committed to preserving the company culture. I had heard this speech before: 3 different companies, 3 identical speeches. When executives say nothing will change, everything is about to change. That very evening, I opened my laptop and began updating my resume. But I also did something else. I began documenting everything. Every email, every meeting note, every vendor contract, every process, every minor detail that could prove crucial later. Emily stayed late with me that night. "Isabella," she said quietly, "we have to make sure we cover everything. Every little thing. If they try to push us out, we need to be untouchable." Together, we backed up 10 years of institutional knowledge across encrypted hard drives stored safely at home. The first signs of trouble. By late March, the pattern began. talented employees over 40 earning more than $120,000 were quietly let go. New hires, fresh graduates with half the experience took over their roles. Human Resources called it a strategic realignment. I called it systematic wage theft and age discrimination. April 2025. The attacks turned personal. Meetings I had led for years were cancelled. My calendar invitations disappeared. On April 15th, a strategic planning session I had facilitated for 8 consecutive years was suddenly reassigned to a junior manager with 9 months of experience. Emily leaned over my desk and whispered, "They're trying to scare you, don't let them. We know the truth and we have the proof." By May, my responsibilities were being systematically stripped from me. My team was confused, vendors were ignored, and my credibility was being undermined. And yet, I kept performing flawlessly. I did not miss a single deadline. I did not falter. My personnel record was spotless, full of awards, recognitions, and commendations spanning 2 decades. Emily quietly mirrored all my documentation, cross-verifying each step. The ultimatum, June 30th, 2025. Miles Hawthorne summoned me to his office at 4:30 p.m. on a Friday. That's when you know bad news is coming. "Isabella," he said, "we're restructuring. Your current position is being eliminated. There's a new role, but the pay is significantly reduced. You can apply if you want." The new role? $88,000 per year. My salary? $180,000. Nearly a 50% cut for essentially the same responsibilities. Textbook constructive dismissal. I smiled politely, thanked him, and walked out. Outside, Emily was waiting. "They're trying to push you out," she said softly, "but we're ready, right?" I nodded. "We've got everything documented. Every email, every meeting, every conversation. It's time." That night, I called Jordan Carter, an employment lawyer specializing in wrongful termination and age discrimination. She told me not to resign, not to sign anything, and to document every detail. The plan in motion. For the next 6 weeks, Emily and I quietly prepared. Every interaction was recorded, every internal message saved, every meeting transcribed. By August 10th, 2025, we were ready. Emily looked at me and said, "Patience is power. Wait for them to make the mistake. We've got this." Ethan Drake's assistant emailed, "Please meet in conference room B at 3:15 p.m. today. It's urgent." I walked into the room with a folder containing a single sheet of paper. The pre-prepared resignation letters sat on the table for me to sign, one accepting a 3-week severance, the other just a termination. I handed them my own. One sentence, 39 carefully chosen words. My resignation is effective only upon the complete and final settlement of all compensation, benefits, stock options, and entitlements owed to me under my employment agreement and applicable Washington state law. They skimmed it and said, "Fine, HR will process it." I smiled. That smile froze the room. They had accepted my conditional resignation without noticing the trap. Emily, standing nearby, gave me a subtle nod. The aftermath. 5 days later, Jordan called. "Isabella, they've realized what you did. They just called me." Dominion's general counsel tried to argue, tried to intimidate. But I had all the proof. 20 employees over 40 unlawfully terminated emails discussing cost-cutting by removing experienced staff recorded meetings, where Miles and Ethan disparaged veteran employees' financial spreadsheets, proving my bonuses and stock options. After tense negotiations, I secured $1,632,000 in total settlement, including back pay, bonuses, severance, stock options, and attorney fees. I also received a glowing letter of recommendation from Ethan Drake himself. The irony. 6 months later, Ethan Drake was fired for poor operational performance. Miles quit. Rachel was struggling to manage clients because no one remembered the systems I had built. Several former colleagues contacted me, and with Jordan's help, they also negotiated 6-figure settlements. Emily even received a consulting offer from a rival company, recognizing her expertise and meticulous documentation. The lesson experience is power, documentation is leverage, and the smartest revenge isn't vindictive. It's getting exactly what you are legally owed. Never sign anything without reading it 3 times. Never underestimate someone with decades of experience and competent legal counsel. Never assume corporate executives are smarter than you. Sometimes the best revenge is not getting even, it's getting justice.